Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you are new. My name's Hannah Martin. Thank you so much for clicking on my video. I'm so excited to be filming today's video because I myself am a huge bookworm. I love reading and I love watching these types of videos so I can get new ideas of books to read, or just if it's a book I have heard of, to hear someone else's perspective on it. So let me know what you think about this down below. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, click the notification bell so you're notified when I upload. Also, all my social medias are going to be listed down below. I love to connect with you guys, so please connect with me through there, and let's get right on into the video. So first up on the list is the book Priceless, and it is by the Christian pop rock duo band For King and Country, and as well as with the help of Nancy Rue. This book, it's actually a movie as well, and it came out around the same time, but I did read the book before I watched the movie. And this book, I'm just gonna, to give the synopsis of it, I'm just gonna read what it says because I'm really bad at describing things. So it says, James Stevens was at one time a good man with a great life. After the tragic death of his wife and losing custody of his little girl, James is at the darkest crossroad of his life. Angry, desperate, and unable to hold down a steady job. He agrees to drive a box truck on a shady, one-time trip cross-country for cash. No questions asked. When he discovers what he is delivering is actually a who, the question in his mind begins haunting him mercilessly. I can't say that word. James becomes an unlikely hero who must fight to save the lives of two young women and finds himself falling in love with one of them. Can love, strength, and faith redefine his past and change the course of his future? So this book I read in under a week, which for me is quick. Honestly, it's a really good book. It's really engaging with it being kind of like a thriller. And I would say comparable to the movie, this obviously has a lot more detail in it. I love them both. I think the movie and the book both are amazing, but I do prefer the book, which I'm always like that with things that are made into movies. Or TV shows, I always prefer the book. But so I definitely recommend getting this. You can get it at any bookstore. I got this at Barnes & Noble. So I highly recommend reading this. And I think for these two, I'm going to do on a scale of 1 to 10 how much I like them. 10 being like amazing and 1 being kind of like I would never read it again. But obviously, since these are all of my favorites, I'm going to read them again. But so I guess on a scale of 1 to 10, I would rate this a 8.5 or 9. Up on the list, I have the book that I just recently finished, and I'm reading the second one for it now. I'm completely obsessed with it, and it is You by Caroline Kepnes. I think that's how you say her last name. This book literally is amazing. I can't even tell you how much I love it, and they just made a TV show that started on Lifetime maybe I think it's 2 weeks ago, and I've been watching that and I am obsessed. Like, I had originally saw the trailer for the TV show and then I found out that it was a book and I was like, I am reading that. And I read this in 3 days, and that is quick for me, especially for how big that is. But okay, so I'll read the synopsis on it. When a beautiful, aspiring writer strides into the East Village bookstore where Joe Goldberg works, he does what anyone would do. He Googles the name on her credit card. There is only one Genevieve Beck in New York City. She has a public Facebook account and tweets incessantly. I am so bad. Oh my gosh. Telling Joe everything he needs to know. She is simply Beck to her friends. She went to Brown University. She lives on Bank Street, and she'll be at a bar in Brooklyn tonight. The perfect place for a chance meeting. As Joe invisibly and obsessively takes control of Beck's life, he begins quietly removing the obstacles that stand in their way. Joe will do anything to ensure Beck finds herself in his waiting arms, even if it means murder. So for this book, I mean, it's amazing, and like I said, I'm reading the second one now, which is Hidden Bodies. Honestly, I've kind of had a harder time reading the second one. The first one's a lot better. I'm still going to read the second one, but I'm just having a hard time continuing on with it. pre-warning for this book, I would say, because some people aren't okay with this, there is a lot of language in it, and there are some pretty vulgar scenes in it, or just vulgar language in general, so just be cautious for that if that's something you're not okay with. Other than that, this book really is, it draws you in so well, and it's, like I said, like, I mean, like, it really can be considered a thriller, because, kind of, just with him in, okay, well, another good thing about this book, too, that I thought was really unique was it's from, Joe's perspective, who is the guy that's, like, stalking the girl, but the way it's written is he always says the word you. So it's almost like he's talking to you instead of talking about Beck. So I mean, like, seriously, that also is, like, another thing that I feel like draws you in more, because that's so unique and something I've never seen in a book before. Because it just makes it more relatable. I mean, kind of. But yeah, so I highly recommend this book. I would say this is like a 9.5 for me. I am obsessed with it, and I love it, and I want to read it again. The next book I have, it's actually a 3-part series, and it is the Descendants books. And I know these are kid books, kind of, but they're generated towards kids. But I love Disney, all things Disney. And I love the Descendants movies, and I am so ready for the 3rd one coming out next summer. But I just love them. I think they're so cool, because it's, if you don't know, these are all the, like, Disney villains and princesses and princes, it's their kids. So, like, the 4 main characters are Jay, Carlos, Mal, and Evie. And Jay is Jafar's son, Carlos is Cruella de Vil's son, Mal is Maleficent's daughter, and Evie is the Evil Queen's daughter. And then, like, the kind of like another main character in the story is Ben, who is Belle and the Beast's son. So I love that. I think that's so unique and so cool. I have read the first 2 all the way through, and then I have like 4 chapters left in the 3rd one. So I need to finish that. A lot of these books, you'll notice too, in this at least, I have read almost all in the series, and then I have like 1 book left that I have like a chapter left, so I need to like start finishing them. But so for the first one, okay, so for the first one, the synopsis for it is, 20 years ago, all the evil villains were banished from the kingdom of Auradon to the Isle of the Lost, a dark and dreary place protected by a force field that makes it impossible for them to leave. Stripped of their magical powers, the villains now live in a total isolation, forgotten world. But hidden in the Forbidden Fortress is a dragon's eye, the key to darkness and the villain's only hope of escape. Only the cleverest, evilest, nastiest villain can find it. Who will it be? So basically, it's just about the 4 main villain kids, and they are going to try their best to find the dragon's eye so that they can get rid of being stuck on the Isle of the Lost. So I think it's super good. I actually read it when I was in high school. I read it for a high school project. But yeah, so I highly recommend it. I would say this is about an 8 out of 10. For the second one, it is Return to the Isle of the Lost. And the synopsis on this is, Mal's an expert at intimidating her enemies, but she's broken the habit since leaving her villainous roots behind. So when she and her friends, Evie, Carlos, and Jay, all receive threatening messages demanding they return home, Mal can't believe it. Sure, she's King Ben's girlfriend now, and she's usually nice to her classmates, but she still didn't think anyone would be silly enough to try to push her around. The thing is, it kind of worked. Especially since she and her friends have a sneaking suspicion that their villainous parents are behind the messages, and when Edie looks into her magic mirror, what she sees only confirms their fears. Maleficent's just a tiny lizard after her run-in with Mal at Ben's coronation, but she's the worst villain in the land for a reason. Could she have found a way to escape? Whatever's going on, Mal, Evie, Carlos, and Jay know they have to sneak back to the Isle and get to the bottom of it. Without its infamous leader, the island's even worse than when they left it. But the comforts of home, even a home as gloomy as the Isle of the Lost, can be hard to resist for recently reformed villains. Will the kids be able to beat that evil bubbling at the Isle's wicked core, or will the plot to destroy Auradon succeed? So this one I read, we had to read multiple books throughout my senior year in our English class, so I actually read this one as a part of the high school project as well. So I actually got them both done really quickly because I had to, but I would give this one, out of the 1 to 10 scale, I would give it maybe about a 7.5. This one was good, but I liked the first one a lot better. But I still definitely recommend it, and really I don't think it matters what age. I think even though it's directed for kids, anybody who likes Disney is gonna like it. So highly recommend it and definitely pick it up. And I got all 3 of these at Target. For the third one, this one is Rise of the Isle of the Lost. And for the synopsis on this, it says, deep beneath the waves, King Triton's powerful trident has passed through the magical barrier that surrounds the Isle of the Lost, keeping villains in and magic out. And when Mal's longtime rival, Uma, daughter of Ursula, gets wind of this, she can't believe her luck. The tide has dragged in something good for a change, and Uma's determined to get her wicked hands on it, but first she needs a pirate crew. A storm is brewing back in Auradon, and when Mal, Evie, Carlos, and Jay hear that the trident has been washed away, they realize they'll have to find it before anyone from the Isle does. Luckily, they seem to have a talent for locating missing magical objects. As Uma readies for the high seas alongside Harry, son of Captain Hook, Gilip, son of Gaston, and the toughest rogues on the Isle of the Lost, the reformed villains of Auradon devise their own master plan. And with King Ben away on royal business, they won't have to play by all the rules. Using bad for good can't be totally evil, right? The thrilling, perilous race to the Trident pits old friends and current enemies against each other with the future of Auradon on the line. Both teams might like to make waves, but only one will come out on top of this one. So for this one, I'm not going to give it a scale of 1 to 10 yet, only because I haven't finished it, so I can't really say truly what I think about it. But so far, it's really good. And obviously, if you're going to read one, you need to read them all. Otherwise, it's just kind of pointless. But yeah, so I highly recommend reading all 3 of these series and checking out the movies if you haven't yet, because those are so good as well. It's a whole series, but there's tons in the series. It is, I guess it's called the Selection series. There are 6 books in the series. Well, technically 5. This one is actually, it's the same storyline as the first one, but it's told from different people's perspectives. So there's one in here because it's all about royal life. So there's one from the Queen's perspective, one from one of the main guys in the movie, his perspective, one from I think a maid, and one from the son or the prince. So it's just the same story as the first one, just from different perspectives. But yeah, so these are honestly some of my favorite books. It's a really weird way to describe this, but they're kind of like a mixture of The Bachelor or The Bachelorette meets The Hunger Games, because I don't want to read the whole synopsis on each of the books because I can pretty much just give you the rundown myself. Basically, it's set in the future, and it's kind of like when it comes to The Hunger Games, how The Hunger Games has everything split up, and there's District 1, District 2, District 3. That's how this is. But it's I think it goes up to 8, and people who are 8, 7, and 6 are poor and are considered the scum of the earth, and 5s, 4s are kind of middle class, and then 1s and 2s and some 3s are considered the rich of the rich, or 2s and 3s are considered rich, and then 1 is royalty. So what they do then is they bring in people from each class, and they have to whenever one of the royals is getting married, they kind of do it like The Bachelor, where they bring in different girls, and the prince has to go each week and vote one off and pick who he wants to be with, and at the end one of them will become his wife. So I think these are amazing, and The first three are the main girl, America, and then after that, you're supposed to read the one that's like all the different perspectives, and then you have the Heir and the Crown. And these ones then are actually the America girl from the first one. It's her daughter, and her daughter has to do the same thing. So it's a continuation, but a different main character. So I love these books. And also, like, side note for how beautiful all the covers are. They are gorgeous. And honestly, that's originally what drew me into the books, were how pretty the covers were. Like, look at how gorgeous all these are. I love this one. And then you saw the other two, but like, they're so beautiful. So the first three I have in a like box set, and you can get that at Target. You can get all these at Target, but I've only ever seen the box set at Target, so I don't know if you can get it anywhere else. But I highly recommend these. I give all of these books, like as a whole, probably like a 9 out of 10. These are such amazing books, and they keep you interested, especially because you think like 6 books, that's so many. But with the one being different perspectives and the last 2 being different characters but the same storyline, it really keeps you drawn in and wanting more. So I highly recommend those, and I definitely think you should check them out if that's something that sounds interesting to you. For my favorite books, I definitely have tons more. I have an ungodly amount of books. I really do. I think I counted the other day, like, books that I haven't read that I have are like 14, and I have like 30 plus books total, which is like crazy, for me at least. I know some people have more, but that's insane for me. So I hope you enjoyed. Down below, let me know what some of your favorite books are down below, or if you're gonna try to read any of these, let me know. I'd love to hear what you think, or if you have read these and what your perspective on them is and how much you liked them. I'd love to know. So yeah, don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, connect with me through my social medias, which are listed down below, and also down below listed I have my SandCloud discount code, which is a company that sells all different sorts of stuff, whether it be clothes, towels, water bottles, and some of the proceeds go towards helping marine life and keeping our oceans clean, which is definitely super important to me. So if you go down below, you can see the discount code. It's HannahMar15, and you'll get 15% off at checkout. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching it. I love you guys so much. Bye.